Hello, I'm Ian, and this is Somerset News Network. You've seen the news. The Ukrainians took an Arctic lorry full of drones into Russia, 3,000 miles into Russia. How it got there, nobody knows. And they let the drones grow, and they attacked the strategic bombers on the Russian airfield. And there's pictures of it, photographs. Russians are saying that the British were involved. I don't know, but this is what the Russians are saying. They're blaming us for it. So we go to American analysts, military analysts, ex-CIA, that sort of person. They are saying that the drone strike has been 18 months in the making and was okayed by the Biden administration. The plan was cooked up by the CIA with the help of the British. That will be MI6. The Defence Secretary, our Defence Secretary, under Mr. Starmer, said that we had given Ukraine 1,000 drones. Why isn't anybody questioning our government of what was our role in the drone strike on the Russian airfield? Nobody's asking the question. Now, we were giving them bombs and bullets and missiles for the defence of Ukraine against Russia. Nobody disagreed with that. I didn't disagree with that. They've got the right of self-defence. But we didn't give them the bombs and missiles to attack Russia. It was only for defence. So the war's escalated. They call it mission creep. Trump came in and tried to create peace. He tried to get a peace deal. I think Russia would have accepted a peace deal. The Crimean, the southern Ukraine eastern southern Ukraine that they've captured, they wanted to keep because they were Russian-speaking people. Trump, I think, agreed to that and wanted the Russians to make sure they weren't in any of the eastern part of Ukraine. That was at the beginning of the year, in January, when he first came in. Now we find that the British and the French are trying to persuade Zelensky to keep fighting. Somewhere on the line, some twat has decided that Ukraine can win the war against Russia. Now, let's just think about this. You've got Ukraine. It's a Russian-speaking people mainly. They got Hungarians in the west, they got Poles in the north, and they got Bulgarians in the northeast. But basically they all speak Russian, so they speak the same language. A lot of the kit they had was Russian to start with. Russia did not want to wipe out Ukraine. It sees it as a cousin. I think Putin has been fighting with one hand tied behind his back. He's been fighting a limited war because he doesn't want to kill all his cousins, because they should be friends. But Zelensky and his crowd have got this idea that they're going to join the EU and join NATO. which is what Russia does not want. And we, the British and the French, keep giving the Ukrainians bombs and bullets to create more carnage. Our Defence Secretary said that we gave 1,000 drones to Ukraine. Question I'm asking is, were our drones used, and did we take a part in the management of the attack on the Russian airfields? I don't know the answer, I'm only posing the question. And Steinmeier's up to it in his eyeballs. A lot of the European countries don't want anything to do with it. Poland, Italy, Hungary, they don't want anything to do with this. Oh, it's the coalition of the willing. As if it's a good thing. They're warmongers. They're psychopaths. They're dangerous. They could put us into a war, and now we're a target for Russia. If it can be proven that they were British drones that were used, we then become a target. We then become the enemy of Russia. It's not done in my name. I don't want a war with Russia. I want Ukraine to be an independent country, not in the EU, not in NATO, and that will be a buffer between us and the Russians. Simple. But oh no, Ukrainians winning here, Ukrainians winning there. There's a website that shows the map, a war map of the areas that Russian and Ukrainian forces are fighting, and they got the video footage with the different sectors of the front to prove what they're saying. The Russians are slowly creeping into Ukraine, into eastern Ukraine. They've already taken the Crimea and the southern part of Ukraine. They're now creeping in from the west. Now, because of the drone strike, the Russians have attacked Kiev with strategic missiles. They have hit a NATO missile underground bumper and blew it up. 2 or 3 of them. And we're saying, oh no, warmongers, they shouldn't have done this and all of that. Yeah, but we started it. We sent the drones over to bomb the Russian planes. This is what happens in a war. This is what happens when you get mission creep. Trump was right to try and stop the war. But the actors aren't playing the same game as Trump. Trump wants peace. He's trying for peace. But it's people like Starmer and Macron who may be sniffing a bit of the white stuff after that video in the train. Oh, they now say that's AI generated. Well, you don't know, do you? Oh, and then we got there's now 4 Ukrainian rent boys linked to the arson attack on Starmer's properties and his old car. How do they know? How are they linked? Are they Ukrainian intelligence linked to Lizinski to try and force Starmer's hand for more bombs and bullets? Is he trying to get our British troops into Ukraine because he's running out of manpower? I don't know the answer. Or the other thing that has been suggested is that there is an opposition leader in Ukraine who wants to be president when they hold elections against Zelensky. And these 4 men are being linked to him. I don't know. I don't know the answer. But it's something that needs to be looked into. Who sent them? Who organised them? And who are they working for? And what is their relationship with Starmer? We have to know. If Starmer knew these lads, these pretty boys, should we know, and is it affecting British security? Starmer is compromised. That's all there is to it. And he's going to lead us into a war to save his neck. We have got to stop this, we the people. I'm not talking about violent revolution. We have got to stand up, do videos like this, make comments on Facebook and X and other social media sites, and say you do not agree with it. Be like John Lennon. Give peace a chance. We could have stopped this war in January. We could have sorted this out. Remember, Starmer's got an agreement for the rare earth minerals in Ukraine. Only problem is, Trump has got the same agreement with Zelensky because of all the kit they've given him and all the intelligence they've given him. Trump now wants payment for it. And he's earmarked all the rare earth minerals that they got in Ukraine. Now, are we going to get it, or are the Americans going to get it? I don't know. You know, Starmer comes up with all these agreements, and they're now not worth the paper they're written on. What happens if Zelensky falls? Russia moves into Ukraine and they get peace. We then have Russia on the Hungarian-Poland border. Is that something we want? We should have fought for peace to start with, and that would have helped sort it out. It won't go away overnight, and it would take time. There'll be negotiations and give and take on both sides. But we've got to start thinking, give peace a chance. We don't want our men sent over there in somebody else's war. Starmer, I think, is a psychopath. He couldn't care a damn about our men, our kids, because they will be kids. They'll be, what, 18, 20 years old maybe? The sergeants and the officers may be a bit older. How many men are we going to lose in this fight if we go? We've got to try and stop Starmer before it gets there. We've got to give peace a chance. Anyway, Ian, Somerset News Network. Bye bye for now.